Hi, I'm Colette Wong, and welcome to SGTech's Global Future Series. You're watching episode 4, where we focus on sustainability. Well, I'm very happy to welcome back SGTech's Executive Director, Yen Cheong. Sustainability, Yen, that must be high on SGTech's list of priorities.
Yes, Colette. As you know, in the earlier episode, we spoke about digital transformation. So essentially, sustainability is very much part of that digital transformation that we're always very concerned about, because we don't see that as a dichotomy. Digitalization, sustainability go hand in hand. So essentially, back in 2022, we've already started on this journey to plan a series of programs to support our companies on the sustainability plus digitalization journey.
Is the sector making progress rapidly enough to meet the new Singapore government's sustainability reporting requirements?
Well, I would say no, but I think there's definitely a lot of support on the way. And certainly for us, we have actually developed a sustainability guided program. And the output of that program is to enable companies to actually do their own ESG reporting, their sustainability reporting.
Thank you, Yen. That was Yen Cheong, Executive Director of SGTech. More efficient data centers are essential to enable greater sustainability in the sector. And digital infrastructure company Equinix has been an early mover in tackling this need. Partnering with academia and with communities, the company has helped set a benchmark for innovation and recognition that has resonated globally.
In Equinix, we focus on our future-first sustainability strategy, where we dream a better future, and we rally our teams and our partners to make this happen. Everything that we do, we ensure that we power the digital economy in a green and sustainable way.
In 2021, Equinix became the first data center operator to commit to becoming globally climate neutral by 2030, aligned to approved science-based targets.
So the data center of the future, as we call it, is clean and efficient. When it comes to clean, we want low carbon energy alternative, aligned with our 100% renewable energy coverage by 2030. Second to that, we want to embed the circular economy principles in everything we do.
This helps Equinix manage their use of all natural resources.
The ideal future data center is one where we can leverage the IT resources of our customers in the most efficient manner possible. So that's operating at ASHRAE A1A temperatures in the data center, reducing our PUE, but also that we build these data centers using sustainable materials such as low carbon concrete.
The world relies on energy-intensive data centers to power the digital economy. And it's well understood that meeting emissions reduction targets with that amount of power is not without its challenges.
One is the challenge around renewable energies, right? If we want to be sustainable, we need to find alternative sources of energy. And in a place like Singapore, locally, land scarcity limits our ability for solar. Wind conditions limit the availability of wind power.
Equinix's data centers are designed and operated with sustainability in mind, achieving 96% renewable coverage globally to date. In Singapore, its energy consumption is 100% covered through the purchase of renewable energy credits. Equinix also takes a multifaceted approach to sustainability that is attracting widespread recognition.
A good example is the Singapore Standard Green Mark certifications. Out of all 5 data centers here in Singapore, 4 are Green Mark Platinum certified, and even SG1, our oldest data center, recently achieved Gold Plus certification.
However, the challenges go beyond operations and infrastructure.
The second challenge is around people's understanding of data centers. What's its role in digital transformation? And so we as an industry have a lot of work to do to bring up people's understanding and educate people about data centers and what benefit they bring.
Those benefits include achieving not only digital transformation, but also sustainability goals for organizations. And increasing awareness means engagement with stakeholders that include governments and communities.
It was very apparent to us about 3 years ago that the sustainability skills in Singapore was really low. Now, and to ensure that we have more sustainability professionals available, we invested in what we have now called the Sustainability Scholarship Fund.
The fund supports partnerships with academic institutions such as the National University of Singapore, Institute of Technical Education, and the Singapore Management University, with the aim of educating future leaders. Equinix has been mentoring students on energy and efficiency use cases.
Creating a life environment in a classroom environment to give students a sense of reality in terms of what it takes to reach sustainability goals in the real world.
As well as educating future decision makers, Equinix is investing in communities.
Our purpose statement is to be the platform where the world comes together to enable innovations for work, life, and planet. So everything that we do in Equinix is not just about work, but it's equally about the life, about the communities. I think engaging with the communities to really raise awareness around sustainability is very key, holistically, to ensure that we help strive towards meeting the Singapore Green Plan goals.
Today's actions have an impact on tomorrow, and Equinix believes it has a responsibility to harness the power of technology for a more accessible, equitable, and sustainable future.
With sustainability reporting and regulations set to intensify, efforts to halt environmental and climate damage are putting companies under increasing scrutiny. We talked to SGTech's Sustainability Steering Committee about initiatives to help SMEs with the most critical areas of sustainability.
In the context of Singapore, SGX, working closely with the central bank, MAS, introduced a regulation where all public listed companies have to have a sustainability or ESG report to report on their emissions and the footprint and do something about it.
The issue is that they do not understand exactly what does this criteria mean or how are they going to meet them. For example, if you ask them carbon footprint reporting, what is it to them? How do they know what's the carbon footprint? So I think the question is, the issue is more that they do not know what's the driver behind it, and they also do not know the topic very well. So this is where SME is struggling.
Every SME is part of a multinational client's Scope 1 or Scope 3. I should say Scope 3 to be more precise, where the MNC clients have to address their Scope 1 by ensuring compliance from the SMEs on their supply chain. So if you look at that problem from that perspective, it hits everyone. It's also advantageous for everyone to jump on board, because if you want to keep offering quality goods and services to your multinational client, you better be compliant.
We are really looking at companies who are still standing at the sidelines, like, why should I get involved, or how do I get involved on this journey? So we are really focusing on the very starting point, and we want to make sure they start right. If they get the right resources, they get the right guidance, and the right goal setting for them. One of the key, I would say, gap that for many SMEs to start this journey is having the right person, right expertise, which of course you can find in most SMEs. So the first reaction normally is, okay, get the boss to do it. But if you talk to SME bosses, they already have so many hats on them, HR, sales, everything on them. Can they really do well? Let's not stretch them too far. That's why in our program, we bundle in the career conversion program, right? We know in Singapore, we don't have a general employment problem, but we have a bit of structural unemployment problem, right? So why not we make use of resources that can be rechanneled into this area? And this is definitely a hot area. What I really like to see is that, number one, no one is left out in this big wave of change that's coming.
I would really hope that SME in Singapore really start to play their part in helping our government to achieve the goal that they've set. The reason being, SME today represent 60% of our economy. So it means they have a very big role to play in this green journey that our government is embarking on.
I think it's increasingly being able to be on a path where consumers recognize you to be different, to be offering a niche product and service because it's green, and that you are able to then have tangible contributions
I think as a family of companies in Singapore, that's how I like to see SGTech. We should we should progress on this journey together. And as a member of this family, yes, for our company, we are also involved in providing sustainability solutions. And it's important for us also to be on this journey. So we learned what it means to really be a responsible company with good social governance and environmental contributions.
It's estimated that 1/3 of the world's carbon emissions originate from industrial production. So, to meet the urgent needs to help curb emissions, Siemens is helping companies implement full traceability with smart supply chains and decentralized manufacturing.
The Siemens Advanced Manufacturing Transformation Centre is the first state-of-the-art hybrid competence centre to provide support and training for ASEAN manufacturing facilities on their path to digital transformation. And Singapore's Sustainable Future vision demands that industries take a holistic approach in using energy more efficiently, reducing carbon emissions, and making the most of our limited resources.
Siemens Digital Industries is bringing the real world and the virtual world together to drive digitalization, and data is the backbone for digitalization. Digitalization and automation together are game changers for the industries. With collective intelligence, we can pivot the way the manufacturing is done within Southeast Asia. 80% of the sustainability impact is decided at the design stage itself.
We have a technology called digital twin. We have been developing this digital twin for more than 30 years. It actually combines the virtual world and the real world in a seamless loop to simulate the best result for the industry. So imagine before you actually build a building, you can actually simulate the office facilities, the layout of the productions. You can actually simulate the process to the level that you want.
We are able to build much more lesser prototypes because multiple scenarios can be done within the virtual world, and we can execute much more faster with high quality and efficiency within the real production environment. This helps us to become much more resource and energy efficient, and at the same time bring in the right materials to drive circularity that drives sustainability at the end of the day.
So we're using this digital twin model to actually build and rebuild some of our existing factories. And through this journey, we actually realized that we can have more than 20% in terms of capacity and space utilizations, and also reduce 20% of our energy consumptions.
Using our own technology, we will become carbon neutral by 2030. And that is also what we want to deliver for our customers.
Just imagine saving 1% of the industry global carbon emission. We are actually saving 70 million tons of CO2. So there's a lot of things Siemens Technologies can actually help in this energy management saving.
An example of how the company is successfully using digitalization and automation to enhance sustainability is in their partnership with Artisan Green, an indoor hydroponics farm in Singapore.
So we're building a farming management system together, whereby we use their software platform to help us automate the entire line of processes into one continuous flow without any human intervention. The remote access system allows us to not enter the farm and introduce potential pests or diseases to the plants. So this allows us to keep a very pristine growing environment that's perfect for the plants. We can control things like temperature, humidity, airflow, lighting conditions as well. So we're not affected by climate change. We're reducing electricity costs as we are able to control lighting more precisely. We're able to mimic sunrise and sundown and even cloud coverage. With this reduced operating costs, we're able to bring down prices so that it's more affordable to the average Singaporean. We're able to produce more than 25 tons of leafy greens, microgreens, and even herbs monthly. This translates to roughly around 134,000 leafy green meals per month.
We hardly have more than 1% of our land space to actually grow the Singapore agriculture. So therefore, using technology to grow more with less is definitely something very important moving forward. So this is aligned by Singapore 30 by 30 food security growth, which is growing 30% of Singapore food by 2030.
Our current farm yield stands at around 1 ton per month at this point in time. And with this new farming system that we're building, this allows us to grow 25 times more and even potentially higher as we grow our farm bigger.
Human capital and technology go hand in hand and are complementary to each other. Siemens is collaborating with SkillsFuture SG in order to drive upskilling and reskilling of the manufacturing workforce in Singapore. With this, SkillsFuture is offering up to 70% funding for any training that Siemens is going to execute for them, and we are training people on various Industry 4.0 technologies.
Siemens is committed to actually build a sustainable future with our aspirations to make Southeast Asia a more livable, sustainable and inclusive world.
With his views on sustainability, we're very happy to be joined by SGTech Chair Wong Wai Ming. Now, Wai Ming, how urgent is the need for the tech sector to transition to more sustainable strategies?
Very urgent and important, but it's not just for the tech sector. It's everyone, every business, every country's responsibilities. If you look at all the reports that's coming, we are going to miss the 1.5 degree scenario. We're probably going to miss, hopefully not the 3 degree scenario. Specific for technology sector, I believe there's 2 areas that tech can help. First, is really applying tech solutions, technology, developing them to solve for climate problems and solutions itself. Second, tech can actually get together as an industry to aggregate significant demand to provide this meaningful offtake, to catalyze investment in green infrastructure, to really accelerate the whole energy transition curve itself. So it's not really a dichotomous dilemma itself, it's really having a creative view on the solution itself, taking a different view, and how do we collaborate across, within industry, across industry, public-private, collaborations, and cross borders too.
Now, earlier in this episode, we heard about the massive demands that generative AI makes on data centers and for them to become more sustainable. Is this happening fast enough?
I would say, in data center, even if you hit the theoretical limit of a PUE of 1, it's still a very big one in energy demand itself. I would say for newer data centers in the build, everyone is pushing the envelope in terms of efficiency. But back to the 1 itself, and very similar to how can industry get together within the industry, I believe with the significant demand for data center, especially with AI coming on board, that can provide a meaningful offtake to really accelerate investment for green energy.
Great stuff. Wong Wai Ming, Chair of SGTech, thank you so much for joining us. Singapore is home to the world's first certified global manufacturing World Economic Forum lighthouse. The HP facility has enabled small to medium businesses throughout the region enhance their green manufacturing technologies.
In a climate where hardware and software innovations drive the economy, with everyday user experiences evolving at lightning speed, creating products with sustainability in mind can be challenging for manufacturers. HP is one company with ambitious sustainability goals at the foundation of their future-ready plan. They believe tech innovators need to create a more circular economy, prioritize responsible sourcing of raw materials, and evaluate social impact, equality, and community support along the way.
Sustainability is critical in everything that we think about.
We are building an organization which is competitive, which is resilient and future-ready.
Identifying the pillars of climate action, human rights, and digital equity, HP hopes to help drive an industry-wide call to action. They've been recognized as a Global Manufacturing World Economic Forum lighthouse, their Singapore facility leading the charge in green manufacturing tech by supporting businesses of all sizes throughout the region.
A lot of the work we do in manufacturing is centered around in Singapore. And part of it is we created this center here for engineers to really innovate, look at new solutions that looks at not just advancing our manufacturing, but looking at advancing manufacturing with sustainability in mind. The other part is Singapore is a very good infrastructure where the government supports a lot of these efforts. They create infrastructure, they create ways to actually help companies to implement sustainability solutions.
HP is focused on people as the driving force of their sustainability equation, aiming to accelerate digital equity for 150 million people by 2030. and create 50-50 gender equality by 2030 within HP's leadership teams. They say empowering the next generation of talent is critical to achieve these results.
A new generation of talent that we are seeing today, they're really looking forward and are keen in joining organizations that exhibit sustainable business practices and exhibit social responsibility. This new generation of talent that we have, they are creating a vibe in terms of innovative ideas, as well as they are ensuring that they create a long-term view. So we have realized that organizations that champion climate change, champion diversity, are actually exhibiting eco-friendly talent management practices are the ones who are actually winning the war for talent.
Bringing the best people on board shapes clearly defined sustainability goals, including 75% circularity in packaging by 2030 and net zero carbon emissions across their entire value chain by 2040.
Here, we have a traditional product that we produce. This is for industrial application. And in the original design, this piece was made from metal. And because it's made from metal, it has to be cut out and manufactured at a supplier, stocked up and shipped to us to be able to produce into a product. And this creates inventory, but it also means that we need to ship it around the world. The engineers were able to be creative about looking at alternatives using our own 3D manufacturing system to produce a similar part, which is the same strength, same functionality, at a fraction of the weight, at a fraction of the cost, and it's 3D printed. I don't need to hold inventory. I don't need to ship it around the world. That much more sustainable.
Partnerships are also considered key to achieving sustainability goals, locally and beyond, especially those with clear impacts on the community.
When a country grows as quickly as we do, and a society grows as quickly as we do, invariably, you run the risk of vulnerable communities being left at risk. And a lot of what we do is ensuring that that bottom doesn't fall out, that the vulnerable segments of community are looked after. What we want to try and do with partners like HP going forward is to go upstream in solving some of society's issues. Resources are finite, and as we move into the next phase of the country's development, a lot of the focus is really going to be on ensuring the vulnerable segments of society don't get left behind and that the gap doesn't get widened. So a lot of the focus really, apart from giving and volunteering, will also be centered around building capacity and capability of social service agencies and the social sector.
In the future, HP says their ultimate goal is to drive good with growth.
Technology has underpinned the growth of the country, and within the sector, I think HP has really led the way. As both a partner and employer of choice, they do a lot to raise funds for the needy. Their employees are very, very involved by way of volunteerism. They certainly lead the industry.
Impact comes from all organizations. We need to ensure that we are driving sustainable business practices, providing an eco-environment where they promote social justice, to be able to create a much more equitable as well as just world. That's what we need to thrive towards.
Thank you for watching our episode on sustainability. In episode 5, we venture into a topic that generates headlines worldwide: digital trust and cybersecurity. See you again soon.